The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
You're listening to Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington. Now, you probably know me from such works as The Office and Extras, Stephen being my co-writer and co-director on those things. For those people who are not so aware of Carl Pilkington, he was our producer, sort of given to us when we first started on XFM, and you're thinking, well, why are we doing a podcast? Why are we doing a podcast for no money?
Is there no money?
No. It's free, innit? It's free download. But this is what I'm here to answer. It's because I like to be in a room with Carl Pilkington. You know, like some people go and help sort of chimps.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, they go to the jungles and things.
And help out little sort of endangered
Dian
species.
Fossey or whatever.
Exactly.
You're very much the Dian Fossey of the Manchester scene.
Of the little bald mank world. And Carl Pilkington is an ongoing experiment for me, because I've seen him blossom from an idiot into an imbecile. And I want to see it through. Look at the way he's looking at us through the glass. Look at that. He's got a perfectly round head. And that's why I'm doing this podcast, or bodcast, as I'm going to call it in his honour. Little round-headed bod-type freak.
If you're not familiar with Bod, we can maybe put up a picture of Bod, the popular cartoon kids character.
Go to rickygervais.com and you will see a picture of Carl and a picture of Bod.
And you draw your own conclusions as to the likeness.
Carl, what do you think about all this?
That's alright.
Are you excited by this new technology?
What? Podcasts?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I mean, we are living in that sort of era now, aren't we? That you need to be able to listen to stuff on demand when you want it and stuff.
I know you're not a fan of the iPod in general, are you? Or any of the MP3 things? You're concerned?
I'm warming to it, but...
This is what's amazing about Carl. Even though he's talking about things like MP3 players, computers, iPods, he sounds like he was found in a glacier and thawed out. Do you know what I mean? And sort of taught to speak.
We're a couple of high school guys who found him, and we're trying to ingratiate him in the gang, trying to pass him off as someone from the modern day.
No, but my thing with iPods is, now, do we need them? Do you know what I mean? We're living in that era now where we have invented most of the stuff that we need, and now we're just messing about.
They said that in 1900. Someone actually said everything that's to be invented has already been invented. They said that in 1900, and how wrong were they?
No, but what came out, at what point, what was invented in that year where they went, right, that's it now? What did they invent in 1900 that made them go, we've done it all now?
Well, just think a little bit, right? The 20th century. Think what happened in the 20th century.
Go on.
Well, cars, planes.
Yeah, but is that a good thing? Planes and that. Do you need a plane, really? Wouldn't it have been better if we all stuck where we should be instead of travelling about? War. Well, look, war's happening, isn't it? Because everyone's saying, well, now we can fly, we'll go over there.
So there were no wars prior to the invention of the aeroplane?
Not like there is today.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, the world's got smaller, hasn't it? Everyone's saying that, right? Yeah. The way I was saying to you the other day, we now go to places where we shouldn't go. People go on holiday to places where you've got to have an injection before you go there.
Yeah.
Forget it then. That's a warning. Don't go there.
I'm with you on that. I don't want to enter a country where I have to have an injection to stop me from dying while I'm in that country. Right, I totally agree with you on that.
So what happened is, they invented the plane, and it's like, oh, let's go on holiday, and then they go, die now. Oh, well, you've got to invent something. Let's invent an injection. And then it's like, right, well, what else do we need to go to that place? There's a lot of faffing. So what I'm saying is... Is
that a place? A lot of faffing?
What I'm saying is, Steve's travelled more than I have. You've been to, like, dangerous places.
I've been to places where you need injections, yeah.
Yeah, but why?
Because it's fascinating, isn't it? Don't you not believe in that idea of travel broadens the mind? It makes you experience other ways of life, other ways of thinking. It just enriches you as a human being. That's the whole reason people go travelling.
But since the invention of the telly, you don't have to go that far to see it.
You're absolutely right.
So there you go, then. The telly was the 20th century, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So where would you stop, then? You'd stop making stuff now? Stop inventing stuff right now? Or do you think we could carry on for another 5 years, see what comes up, and then just draw a line under it all?
Well, again, we're just messing about, and
but there's still things to do, isn't there? I mean, I know, I could throw things up, you can always get answer about it, but, a cure for cancer, a cure for AIDS.
Yeah, but should we mess with that?
What do you mean?
because there's too many people in the world as it is, isn't there? So that's a way of controlling it, so that, you know, like, look at London, right? It's overpopulated, rent keeps going up because there's more and more people surviving, right? If you let them die, it's going to even itself out. See, I was saying to someone the other day about maybe we should look at, if we're going to invent something, right, forget, like, the traditional way of people having kids, right? The way they, you know, have it away and that. You know,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
no, you know, like the way that, you know, we have kids and stuff. If it'd be good if what happened was to control it is if man and woman, right, they're born and that, they enjoy their life, they learn a lot, they live to be about 78, I think, by that point.
So specific.
Yeah, 78,
No,
yeah.
but by 78, I reckon you've sort of got to that point where you go, do you know what, I've done everything I'm going to do. If you haven't bungee jumped by the time you're 78, you're not going to do it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
Your hips have come off.
You've done it all now, so I've had my innings.
Yeah.
And then you die, right? So, say if everyone had that, they live to be 78. But then, just as you die,
They give you the bumps.
you get... You have a little baby inside you, and as you die, your life carries on.
Sorry.
How is
are
this
you-
happening?
Sorry, are you mental?
No, but don't you think...
I mean, what? I've never heard such drivel.
You're saying that, but if Newton said it, you'd go, interesting. That's what annoys me.
I
The
love
point
it.
is, Carl, he never would.
No,
He'd
what?
never say it, that's the point.
But if you never say it,
I don't understand what you're talking about there. What? How was it? How is there a little baby in a 78-year-old?
No, what I'm saying is it's like an apple, where the apple grows and it's got its little baby pips in it, and the apple goes and the seeds are planted and a new one's born.
But that's what happens.
But that is what reproduction is.
Yeah, but I'm saying babies aren't being born left, right and centre. It's controlled, so that as someone dies, someone's born.
But Carl, stop. Whose responsibility is
Look,
this?
if you don't want to do it, we won't do it, but I'm
is it
just...
supposed to be nature? Has nature got to develop humans so that we act that way, we live that way,
What I
or is this a
like-
scientific
What
experiment?
I like, he said to you then, he said, look, if you don't want to do it, we don't need to do it. Like, if you were up for it, we'll sort it out. We can do that.
We'll have a wit round so we can do the
It's-
research.
I just think, at the end of the day, we've got to do something. And is anyone keeping an eye on this and looking at what we can do next to control the population thing? It does my head in that I've got to live in London for work and what have you, and there's loads of people here, and, you know, forget going out on a Saturday night, it's too busy, and you can't move, and they keep... I mean, what annoys me about London
So
is...
your solution is that 78-year-old women have little babies inside them, and as they slip away into death, the little babies... And how is that baby then
Who looks
raised?
after
Who
the
looks
baby?
after the baby?
Because it's a pretty good system having a baby while you're young enough to look after that baby and make sure it lives to, you know, reproductive age itself.
I mean, that system's been working for years.
Nature's sort of sorted it out. Natural selection and evolution sort of makes that a good model.
But wait a minute, nature. Pop that on hold, because Carl Pilkington's got an idea.
Yeah.
that's what it was, just an idea.
Yeah, well, it was nonsense. But thank you for it.
The worst ideas. I mean, it was the ramblings of someone you'd find by themselves in a hospital eating flies.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing you find when, if they find maybe a pamphlet or a booklet written by a psychopath. You know, someone, just before they went on a rampage and then turned the gun on themselves, they go through their possessions and they find a book and it's got weird drawings, women with knives in their face, and this kind of
In
garbage.
fact, I saw a similar sort of theory written out on a wall, but it was written in shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, all I'm saying is, I think it's, you know, when people die normally, everyone's fed up about it, aren't they, and a bit down. But if when you pass away, you go, oh, we're going to miss Gladys or whatever, but then there's this new life brought in, it's almost like a bad news, good
But
news.
you're talking about it like someone could pick this idea up and run with it. Like you've given them enough information to do it. How is this possible? Where does she get the baby from? Why does it grow? Why grow it in Gladys's belly? Why not have it in a drawer?
But what I'm saying is-
ready to go, just add water. I mean...
Who looks after son of Gladys?
There is no theory here. There's no... it's the ramblings of a madman.
What I'm saying is, though, the body's always changing, innit? From caveman to now, or whatever.
In
It's
some
changing.
cases.
And they're always finding out more and more. Like I read the other day about how they're saying, do you know how, like they say people have six senses?
Yeah.
There's loads more than that. Right, and there's this one...
I say, show me that you've got one.
No, right, and there's this one that's knocking about
Go on.
That what it is. Say if I'm in a pub, right, and I'm just doing a crossword or whatever.
Unlikely, but go on.
And there's some woman who's walked in, right, and she's staring at me.
Yeah.
I know she's looking at me, and I look up and I look round, she's looking at me.
Right.
And they're saying that's a new sense that they found out from, like, you know, doing tests and what have you.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
And they're saying
okay.
that's been around since like man and dinosaur was knocking about.
But it could be, you know, peripheral vision. It could be a footstep stopped, and usually when someone's footsteps stop, they've stopped.
No, they've
because you're-
explained
I think it's safe to assume that, you know, that with your perfectly round head, people are always stopping and looking.
No, but they explained
I mean,
it.
you just know that there's probably going to be someone there if you look right.
They said it's from the time when, like, caveman was, like, wandering about, and he'd go, hang on a minute, and he'd look round, there's a dinosaur there or whatever, and he'd leg it.
This is nonsense. One,
not-
I hate when people use the term when caveman was wandering round. Caveman and dinosaurs. Oh, they used to live together. Yeah. Oh, that's the same era. Yeah. What have you been watching? Raquel Welch.
What do you mean?
Well, what do you mean caveman wandering, knocking around with a dinosaur?
You know, the Flintstones is only partly based on fact. Dinosaurs and man did not coexist. The dinosaurs had long gone before man arrived. Extinct. Kaput. You don't believe us?
What, you don't believe because you've seen...
Because you saw that film where they took pictures of lizards and magnified them and put them next to men in films so they looked like they were fighting.
Yeah.
No, but why couldn't that have happened?
What is the film with Raquel Welch? A Million Years
10
BC.
A million years BC or
A
something.
Million Years BC. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
She had a sort of woolly mammoth bikini. Fact.
why wasn't the dinosaurs back then just like how we have dogs now, in a way?
He's watching the Flintstones.
He's watching the Flintstones.
He's thinking of the Flintstones.
Yeah.
That's what he's
when
thinking.
he puts out the saber-toothed tiger,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Dido
And he mixes his concrete in a pelican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that there must have been a crossover point.
Why? Why did you say that? Why do you think there must have been
There
a
must
crossover
have
point?
been.
Because if nothing was knocking about at any point, how did anything carry on?
I know. Exactly. Why didn't Hitler meet Nero? It's weird, isn't it? There must have been a crossover. They must have met somewhere. They must have met at a party somewhere.
They mixed in similar circles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you telling me that Ken Dodd has never met Genghis Khan? They must have bumped into... I can't believe it.
Forget it.
Oh.
You're listening to Ricky Gervais with Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Coming up after the ads, Monkey News.
What ads?
No ads, no?
No, we're not. There's nothing here. There's no records. We just got to keep on talking.
Okay.
Which is not.
We could do our own ads.
Okay.
Bring tea for the Tillerman, steak for the sun. Out now to own on DVD, Ricky Gervais's and Steve Merchant's award-winning extras. With Ross Kemp. Oh, zippy. With Les Dennis. Put your arse away, Les. I don't really know. And Kate Winslet. Oh, this nun outfit makes me talk dirty. Out now on DVD. Extras.
Did you like Flanimals? The Ricky Gervais book for kids with pictures of made-up creatures in of different colours? Well, if you did, there's more of them now in the
More
new book, More
Flanimals.
Flanimals, which is also by Ricky Gervais, drawings by his mate. Out now.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
You're listening to Ricky Gervais with Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Well, now time for one of our regular features. Monkey News.
Do the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that Monkey News.
Right, what we're doing here is just giving you a bit of monkey news that's gone on, right? Where a monkey's been involved in it. Good little story in that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the one that went into space? The first sort of thing they ever sent up there before man did it and all that. You see, this is what annoys me with it really. Armstrong gets all the glory, but do you know who went up there before him?
A monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog went up first.
But what was the monkey called?
I don't know.
No, sure, okay. So it's not the most informed news bulletin.
The dog was called Laika.
Was it?
Yeah, they couldn't get it back there. They sent it up there, did a few tests and stuff, and they couldn't get it back. They weren't prepared to bring the capsule back yet. Brilliant. We could all do that.
So is that a good mission?
Well, I just think it was seeing what if the mission itself killed it, but they didn't have the technology because, of course, it couldn't fly the capsule back, which it has to be manned to bring
Right.
it.
Well, this was the next one up then, right? So the dog must have gone first, and then they went, right, we made an error there, right? Get the monkey in, And what happened is they taught it what buttons to hit at the time that it needed to hit them, and the way they did this was like give it bananas. It was like hit the red button, and it hit the red button, they'd give it a banana.
Right.
And they go, right, reverse is the green one, hit the green one. And then they do that and go, there's a banana. And then they go, right, hit reverse, and it go and get a banana.
Right.
Hit the red, so it was taking commands on like headphones.
Right, but how were they
Is
giving it
that
the
how you
banana?
learn to do radio?
How were they giving it the banana?
What do you mean? No,
Well-
this is before it went. You
right.
wouldn't just go and put a monkey in it and go, there you go, get on with it. They'd sort of put him in one of them capsules that you get,
Yeah.
and they were on headphones.
I don't believe this happened.
Well, I'm telling you the story now. So the monkey
I don't
sat...
think they trained it to do anything. I think they sent it up there and he put electrodes coming out of it to
No,
see what
It wasn't
it's-
any of that. They did a thing like they do, like they can with animals. If you give something, like a treat, you can teach it how to do it. It's just like a dog, isn't it?
It's called Pavlovian conditioning. However, that was to see if it would salivate or go over to a particular corner, not if it could control a spacecraft.
Next one up. It's the next one up. As far as the monkey's not sat there going, oh, I'm a bit under pressure here, it's a rocket. All that's knowing is, I'm getting a banana if I hit that button. That's all the monkey's thinking about.
They wouldn't put billions of
whatever.
space
But
dollars.
how can they be sure that it's going to press the button at the right moment?
Because it's got headphones on. They're telling it. It's not
like
just,
you have now.
it's not like willy-nilly. It's not just like pop it in there and
Willy-nilly,
see...
who's
see-
that?
But what's to stop it from just hitting it any old time? Because it's a monkey and it's
Because
not a human.
Because he's trained now. But
Oh, he's
anyway,
trained.
so
He's fully
listen,
trained, yeah, go
So
on.
what happened is, anyway,
Oh, this is absolute rubbish.
they pop the monkey in there.
Yeah.
He's got his headphones on. They go in, right, hit the green one. And I think there's something there that a little banana comes out to keep the same...
No, you're making this up.
I'm not, it's the same...
There's no way that they made a
Right, so
spacecraft
they can-
that had a banana dispenser.
Right,
There's
so-
no way in this world that they made a spacecraft that could go into outer space, right?
So what- so
manned
you're- so
by a
you're-
monkey with a banana dispenser.
So you're saying that it's easy to send something up to space, but you don't believe there's a little banana machine?
Right, okay,
See?
so in your world, there's a monkey and it's been conditioned and there's a
So-
little monkey dispenser,
Banana.
monkey dispenser, a
Yeah,
banana
like banana
dispenser,
right? So it comes to the launch day, monkeys sat in there, everyone's ready, bananas are stocked up and all the rest of it. They go, right, hit the green button. Right, and the rocket goes off and what have you.
No, they would not make the monkey launch the rocket. Carl,
So-
you are living in a cartoon world.
So the rocket goes off, right?
This is absolute bollocks.
It's all going well.
I mean, I don't know
It's
what you're
all-
going to... It's not going well.
it's going
There's
well.
no way a monkey launched
It's
a
going-
rocket. There is no way a monkey launched a rocket,
So
you idiot.
it's all going on. So they go and hit the left button, and it goes a
The
little bit left.
left button!
Right,
Oh,
so-
well-known spacecraft command. This is Houston. Hit the left button. Oh, brilliant. This is what happened in Apollo 13. Hit the left button.
So it
You
goes
are-
left. Yeah, it goes left.
So it goes left, and it's going well.
Left!
It-
It
I
goes
know.
left!
Yeah.
No, the moon.
So
You're
it
going
goes,
right.
It goes for the moon. Everything's going well.
Right.
They get up there. It does whatever it does. It reverse. It comes back. Right. So then
You are, honestly, you are brain dead.
So it's
you are
long-
one of the most stupid people. That I would rather have the monkey drive
listen.
me home than you.
So the thing is, so it lands back.
Yeah.
It does a good job and everything. It gets out. And this
It's
is
sick of bananas.
This is where it turns a bit sad, because after it done that mission, right? Because it happened and it was all safe and everything. The next one would have been to send man.
Right.
So the monkey enjoyed it, and it was like, well, I want to do it again, right? But they were like,
So how did they know that? How did they know he wanted to...
just the way it looked and what have you. It was like,
Fuck off! Just the way it looked!
So-
you are a maniac.
so the thing is though, right? So after it had done that, it was on such a high, right?
Yeah.
It could never get that high again.
Turned to drugs?
There was nothing that it could do.
Went on tour, did it?
It sort of ended up killing itself. Because it could never get that buzz that it
Right,
got.
that was absolute bollocks. None of that is true, except they sent a monkey into space, and I'll check that. Absolute drivel.
So in your mind, it committed suicide. It went on a crazy bender, drinking drugs and women. And
like
then,
it does happen. You
and then
hear
it was
about
found
it.
in
you
a
hear about
motel
it.
room.
Right, do you know, like, you don't believe in, like, scary stuff? Just like, you know, ghosts.
No, I believe in scary stuff. I don't believe
No,
in
well,
things that
ghosts
are totally
and that.
logical. Yeah, ghosts.
Vampires?
No. Anything made up by man.
Well,
Anything.
there was something in the paper the other day about a vampire. How they found one. They dug something up.
It was in the paper.
And,
Oh, it's true then.
It's definitely true.
But
It's
we'll
definitely
leave
true
that.
then.
But we'll leave that because you're just going to do that, so it doesn't matter.
No, come on.
No,
listen,
go on, quickly, tell us.
Come on.
You
No,
found
it's just that they found a body in a coffin
Yeah.
with a bit
weird.
of wood through its heart and a knife in its mouth. But if you don't believe it,
It was a
then what's the
vampire
point?
pirate. It
Well,
was a
that's
vampire pirate.
But that's definitely proof of a vampire then, and of course, and not some grotesque murder.
Yeah.
That's definitely proof of a
If
vampire.
it was found, if it wasn't, if it wasn't
Right,
made
hang
up.
on a minute.
Yeah.
Hang
Two,
on a
if
minute.
it
As
was
far as I'm aware, when you put the thing through their heart, they just turn into dust. In the
and
films I've
also
seen.
all their victims get their own life back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Right,
the truth.
and here was the second bit.
Yeah.
Somebody dug it up,
Yeah.
got the heart, blended it, burnt it, popped it in some water, drank it, and they're in prison now. Now, if it wasn't dodgy stuff, why are they in prison?
They're
Why
in
don't you
prison
just
because
go-
they're mental, because they dug up a body, liquidised its heart, burnt it and drank it.
That's why they're in prison.
prison.
There's your answer.
Right. But anyway, that isn't what I'm talking about, right? But
Go
I
on
met Derek Acora the other week,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Now,
And
who's he? Which one's he?
he's
Is he a medium? He can contact the dead. Is that right?
he just chats to him and that,
Sure.
passes messages on.
Nice of him.
So I said, "Oh, tell us something a bit weird and that." So he said, "What do you want to know?" I said, "Just something weird." So he goes, "All right then." He said, "Here's one for you, right?" And he said, "There's this pub out in the country," and he said, "There's this mug. Do you know those old mugs that they have, where they used to like leave their own cup knocking
Like a
about, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Tankard thing."
Yeah.
So there was one of them mugs in there, right? And everybody
Tankard. Let's use tankard if we've
All right,
established
okay,
that's the word.
tankard, yeah.
Because you're the only mug in this story.
Right,
You believe
so-
in it all.
High five. Great.
So this tankard's knocking about, right? And everyone who's running the pub keeps going, "Oh, I wish they'd stop leaving this tankard about," right? And they pick it up.
It must be a pain. Having a tiny, small tankard in a pub. That must be a real grind.
So every they sort of picked it up and went, "We'll have to wash that," and they popped it on a different sideboard. Next thing you know, that person who's touched it died, right?
Sure.
So
They must have been getting through bar staff.
so they kept getting in new staff and that. And they were like, "What's the connection here?" Right?
What's the connection here?
Oh, God.
So anyway, so
Call Australia, we've run out.
they sort of someone notices and they go, "Do you know, it's a bit weird. It's that cup, right?" So they get
Tankard.
They get, so it's that tankard and that. So they get a vicar in.
Of course they do.
And they go, "Look, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. This tankard, every time someone touches it, they die." So he said, "Leave it with me." He gets his special water out and what have you. He comes round, does a little prayer, sprinkles it. He goes, "Right, not a problem, don't worry about it." He picks it up, chucks it in the bin. Guess what?
What?
Dies in a crash on the way home. Because he'd picked it up.
Well, but Carl, you're telling me this like it's fact, and I'm meant to go, "That's
Derek
amazing."
Acora, he told me.
Carl, I have no opinion of that story, other than I'm pretty sure there was absolutely no connection between touching the tankard and him dying. That's all I'm sure of.
It's not just him, though, is it?
I'm not going to even contest the chain of events. All I'm saying is there is no connection. There is no connection possible because I believe in logic and the laws of the universe. So when you're telling me miracles and strange things outside coincidence, you may as well be telling me about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, because they're equal to me. That it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
So what would it take, though, for you to go, "Oh, I'm actually a believer now"?
But what you're saying is you're I can't answer that question because I'd have to base my beliefs on some of your premises, which I can't do. It's like you saying, "But what if you found out that 2 and 2 equaled 5?" I can't. It's a necessary truth that it doesn't. I'd have to go back and fundamentally disagree with what I think twoism is, two-ness and fiveness.
And you've never been in a situation, though, where you've gone, "This room feels a bit weird." Could be something, do you know what I mean? Could be something knocking about, or...
But that's a different question. I could go into a really rough-looking pub and think, this isn't good, because it's
No,
based
like
on induction. Then, because
I mean, like, you know, if you've been to Cornwall on holiday and stayed somewhere and you've gone, "Do you know what? Sure, so much died in here."
I'm sure so much died everywhere.
Yeah, but what I mean, you never pick up a vibe of, like, I've got a mate, right, who he's living in this big stately home, right? And what it
Why
is,
is he living there?
he's paying £100 a month, right? And it's almost like he's being a security man.
All right.
But he's not. He doesn't sit out the door with that on and everything. He just goes about his life, but he bases most of his work in this stately home.
So what is it, like a
housekeeper, like he's
like
sort
a
of
bed-
house sitting.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's massive. It's bigger than Buckingham Palace, this place, right?
So what is it, a billionaire that's gone away or something?
I think it's some sort of. I think he said something about a viscount or something, right? He said he owns this place. He's living in America. This place he owns, but it's falling to bits.
Wow.
And he's worried that people are going to go in there and squat and what have you. So he said to me, mate, you know, there was an advert in the paper, he doesn't know him, advert in the paper saying, do you want to live in a big house, £100 or whatever? And he went and had a look, right? And he's living in there now. He pays £100 a month. There's about 80 rooms.
Gee.
And it's this big stately house and what have you. And I went down there. He said, oh, come down and have a look, right? And from outside you go, oh, this is brilliant. It's like something out of, you know, like the Man of Bourne or something. You go, this is impressive. But then when you get in, it's like it's a wreck.
It's
Right.
just falling apart because they can't afford...
Well, it's just been left. No one's doing any vacuuming up or anything. There's like rat poison everywhere. Like windows are smashed, doors kicked in.
That's a
Oh,
real shame. Why is it? Is it?
I don't think he's doing his job, is he?
Is it because it would cost like millions to do up or
Well,
something?
apparently it'd be like I think they're going to have it done up, but it's going to cost like 80 million, right? So anyway,
It's a big house.
It's a big house.
So we go to the pub and what have you. I've got like a little torch, and we're wandering around looking in all these different rooms, right? And I'm asking him how's it got in this state? Do you know what I mean? If someone's had it, why have they let it get to this state? And he was saying how, you know, it was like a mental home at one point, and it was like a drug thing as well. People who had problems with drugs, they popped them out there because it's in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? If you needed drugs or anything, forget it. It's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So that's straight away. Do you know, like, have you ever been in a hospital when it's been shut down, or a school when there's no kids in it, and there's that sort of bad atmosphere of like weirdness,
Yeah.
right?
For the sake of argument, yeah.
So we're wandering about, and I say, oh yeah, what's in this room, right? And we go in, and all the floors are like a wreck and rotten and stuff. And I looked at the wall, and there was like a little piece of paper stuck on the wall,
Ooh.
right? And I said, what's this here? So I wandered over, right? Got right up close to it, and somebody had wrote it.
Somebody had roted.
Oh,
Somebody had roted.
Imagine on Jack and Horry. Right, okay. Right, go on.
so there's a little sign there, right? And I go up to it, and it says flies, right, with an arrow. Flies this way,
Yep.
right? So I think that's a bit weird. So I follow the arrow, right, which goes to this corner where there's a shelf, about 3,000 dead flies on it,
Oh my god.
condom stuck on the top. That's weird, isn't
That
it?
is weird.
That is weird, right? So I'm looking at that, and there's loads of stuff on the floor and that, bits of paper. Picked up this bit of paper, right? And it had, like in biro and that, it looked really old, like it'd been there years. And it had something like, need nappies, dummy, right? Blankets, blah, blah, all this, like, all stuff for, like... And I turned it over, right? And it said, none of this now needed, baby dead.
Right.
Now that's weird, isn't it? Now that's what I'm talking about when you get a bad vibe. You go, that's who's been in here.
So I don't actually understand what point you're trying to make, Carl.
Just because who's written that? Who's been in that room? Who's been in that state? And then straight away your mind starts going, oh, I'm getting bad vibes in here.
But Carl, didn't you just tell us that this was once occupied by drug addicts and mentals, to
Yeah.
use your word?
Yeah.
So haven't you put two and two together and thought that was probably who wrote it? That doesn't mean it's paranormal or ghostly. You walk into a building, it's a big, terrifying, empty house. It's terrifying in as much as it's cold and dark and drafty and a little bit spooky in this sort of illustrative sense.
And insecure.
Yeah, you're a bit nervous because it's got this sort of, it's got its bad vibe. It's just based on the fact that
Your mate's in charge.
yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, yeah, so it's like saying, are we scared of the dark? Yes, I understand why people are scared of the dark. I'm a little bit scared of the dark. You're walking along.
Because you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, you don't know what's in the darkness. That's why people get nervous. It doesn't mean you have to make the leap then that you've got some paranormal sense. Oh my God, I'm Carl Pilkington, and hang on, just like Derek Acora, I have sensed something strange and evil in this room. Wait a minute, there's some flies in a condom. I was right all along.
That is weird.
Flies in a Johnny equals badness.
The flies in the condom was weird.
It's
enough.
weird. I don't know.
But the note.
Yeah.
I just think of his face when he saw that, reading it by torchlight. You must have been terrified.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Thank you very much indeed for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with us, either myself or Ricky, or you've got something to send to Carl, then you can email us at podcast@rickygervais.com.
I'd just like to say thank you to both The Guardian for sponsoring this and Positive Internet for hosting this podcast. Both great. The guys at Positive Internet know exactly what they're doing. They're my kind of people, as is The Guardian.
You weren't contractually obliged to say that, were you? It just sounded...
No, it's what I think. Just what I think.
Right. It's just I've not heard you mention either of them before in that way. It just sounded a little...
Oh, you're joking. I both love The Guardian and Positive Internet. Great guys.
Okay, that's just the way you feel, it's not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited. The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello, welcome to another podcast of The Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant.
Hello.
All right. And, of course, Carl Pilkington.
Rick, you'll be pleased to know we've already had some responses. You remember last week I mentioned that you can email us on podcast@rickygervais.com if you've got anything for Carl or you or I. And Simon and Mark have already emailed us in this link to something that was on the BBC News website. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's a remarkable story. Well, I'll give you the headline straight away, and you can draw your own conclusion. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. That's just the headline.
That's a hell of a headline. That makes me want to know more about the story.
Well, that's what
a headline should do.
I mean, I think we'd all read the news. We'd all take more interest in the news if they could open the BBC News at 6 o'clock every night. Bong. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. Bong. We'd definitely pay more attention. So this is the story. It's just extraordinary. Spectators cheered as entire Cambodian midget fighting league squared off against African lion.
Now, I didn't even know there was a Cambodian midget fighting league.
You're an ignoramus. Everyone, of course, has heard of the CMFL, which is genuinely what it's known as in Cambodia. Now, like you, I don't know who the Cambodian midget fighting league are normally fighting. I don't know what tournaments...
I assume it's each other.
Well, I assume each other.
It's midget fighting, then?
Yeah, well, let me just give you more information, and then we can dissect it afterwards. Tickets had been sold out 3 weeks before the much-anticipated fight. The fight was organised when an angry fan contested Yang Shamoni, president of the CMFL, claiming that one lion could defeat his entire league of 42 fighters.
So this bloke is going to the president and going, I reckon a lion could get all your midgets.
I reckon he could destroy all of your 42 midget fighters. Now, apparently, Shamoni, the president of the CMFL, he takes great pride in the league, and he's conveyed in a recent advertising campaign that his midgets will take on anything, man, beast, or machine. Now, I don't know what kind of machine, again, midgets are fighting.
But don't the midgets have a say in this?
A washing machine. I don't know.
The midgets going, all right, keep it down. No, they will fight anything. Well, we won't fight anything. We'll fight each other. We're sort of like equally matched.
No, you'll fight a beast or a machine.
No. I'll fight another midget. I will fight any midget. Is what. When I said I'll take on anything, I meant another midget.
Machines.
So this bloke goes, I reckon a lion could take on your midgets. He goes, rubbish.
Yes. And that is why an African lion was shipped in especially for the event, which took place a couple of Saturdays ago, in the city's Colosseum. I mean, they've got a Colosseum, Rick, which is already brilliant.
So hold on, this is sanctioned by the city?
Well, the Cambodian government allowed the fight to take place under the condition that they receive a 50% commission on each ticket sold, and that no cameras would be allowed in the arena. We'll take 50%, but for dignity's sake, there's no cameers. We don't want to make this into a
spectacle.
Yeah.
No. It's just lion versus midget, but
exactly. Well, 42. Never forget, there was 42 midgets. Now, this is the tragedy element, and this is why we shouldn't be laughing, because the fight was ended.
Don't tell me the lion gets hurt.
Well, the fight was ended, Rick, after only 12 minutes, after which 28 of the midget fighters were declared dead,
Right.
while the other 14 suffered severe injuries, including broken bones, lost limbs, and they were basically unable to fight
But the
anymore.
lion wasn't hurt.
It would have seemed that the lion was okay.
Oh, good. Because the lion had no choice in this.
No.
See, that's I love it when a human takes on a beast and comes unstuck. Because that lion was scared and defending itself. Those little midgets were loving it. They wanted to go
What do
in
you mean
there.
they were loving it? You don't know that.
Well, why would they do it?
Well, what I find out... Well, I'm worried, you see. I don't know the ins and outs of this. I wonder if they were fighting against their will. I got the horrible feeling, because with all due respect to any midgets listening, they must be fairly easy to round up. You could probably corral some midgets fairly easily. You know, you only need some regular full-size people, and it'd be easy to grab some midgets and take them away, whisk them away, put them in a cage.
No, because no, because they don't. Because a lot of them stand on each other's shoulders and wear a long coat.
Sure, but...
and a hat, and you go, oh, that's not a midget.
No,
Let him
but
go.
those ones are getting away with it. They're
Yeah.
fine. They're wandering around, fine. Because who's voluntarily going to join the Cambodian Midget Fighting League?
But midgets who want a bit of action, who want to fight other midgets, they're allowed. They want to fight. They can't get in real boxing matches because the fellas are too big for them. But they can go, well, I'll tell you what, let's have our own little fighting league, right?
But if I was on the Cambodian Midget Fighting League, I'd be livid. I'd be thinking to myself, well, I can't believe I listened to my agent and he's put me up fighting a lion. I mean, I should have just taken Panto in Grimsby. I can't believe what
I
I've
can't
done.
believe it. But hold on, though.
I thought...
Are they all really midgets, or are they lumping in dwarves with them?
It's not specified, Rick, but...
But that annoys me when people say, oh, look at these midgets, and I go, hold on, no, they're making up the numbers with a couple of dwarfs there. That's clearly only 39 midgets and 3 dwarfs.
Sure.
Well, that's amazing.
Carl, what are your thoughts instantly? I mean, you're bound to have a take on that.
Whose side am I meant to be on there?
What?
Well, by
Well,
the
I'd be,
story,
I'd be on the lion side. I'd never go to a bullfight, but I love it when I see a matador gored to death. Because, again, the bull doesn't want to get in that ring and fight a bloke with swords, okay? So I love it. I think it's disgusting. And when someone says a midget versus lion, I'm thinking, well, it's okay if the lion wins, to be honest, because they haven't got a choice. So, and I hate it when people go, oh, I went to a bullfight when I was in Spain, but it's the tradition, isn't it? Oh, well, there's loads of traditions that we don't adhere to anymore. So I say it shouldn't have happened, of course, but if it happens, I'm glad the lion isn't hurt.
See, what's annoying me is I've sent money to Cambodia because apparently they're hungry and haven't got any energy. So what's going on?
Well, it's much easier to fill up a midget than it is a regular Cambodian. You know, they're
I just
happy
feel
on
like
a Mars
I'm
bar.
being cheated a bit.
You were conned before with a charity, weren't you?
Well, a few times, yeah.
What about the old lady? What was that?
I got stopped, and it's like they sort of drag you in by saying, "Have you got a gran?" And I said, "No, they died," and that. It's like, "Oh, did they die of the cold?" No, she's, ill. What have you? Just old age. He said, "Well, what happens with a lot of people's grans is they die in the cold, right?" So I was like, "Oh, that's bad, isn't it?" Anyway, so she's chatting and she's showing me pictures of these old women who look cold, right? Saying, "Look at her, that's Edna. She's got no family. She can't pay the bills and all that."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh yeah." Anyway, it goes on for about 15 minutes, and you feel bad. You give them your bank details, right? And what happens is every couple of months you get a letter from Edna. Well, it's not from her; it's typed up and what have you. But there's a picture of Edna, right? And it's saying, "Oh, this December, Edna's going to be extra cold. It's cold outside. She can't afford to pay the heat and what have you."
Yeah.
Keep going, right? So you keep paying every month like £5, whatever. Get another letter a few months later, right? Edna's sat there. She's got a tan.
What do you mean she's got a tan?
Well, when they said, she's cold, I thought they meant for the heating, not to send her on holiday for a month. She sat there with a tan. I'm not joking.
Are you sure it wasn't just a slight problem in the printing?
No, definitely.
Sure,
she looked well happy.
Sure, it wasn't liver failure.
This is a terrible thing to say, but when I see those people approaching now with the clipboards on the street,
Yeah.
I always get my mobile phone out and pretend to have a
I've done
conversation.
that one.
The number of fake conversations I've had walking past them now.
Well, I felt sorry for them, right? Because I thought, to be fair, I've got about 10 standing orders where I
Yeah.
felt sorry from a court. Right, I thought they're doing a good deed. The least I can do. I find out they're on about £8 an hour.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're not just doing it out of the kindness of their hearts.
Well, I don't want to.
I thought they were volunteers. I thought that was at least why I should feel guilty. If they're
No.
getting paid to do it.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think they do.
What?
I've heard they get paid and that.
Well, if someone knows, maybe email
Email
us.
in.
with you.
Podcast at rickygervais.com is how you can get in touch with us.
'Cause
If
if
you
it-
know if these guys are getting fleecing us twice.
I heard something. Carl thinks they are. You think they're not.
I don't know
mate.
anything, but
No,
anything that will allow me
But
to
let's
not feel
find
guilty.
out, because I don't want to slag them off, because they're obviously doing a good. So we'll find this out. It's, this is an educational show.
I tell you what, though, right? Because we've talked about homeless people before and that, and I walked past one the other day. He's always cheerful, right? But don't you think, right? If you had a company, it's worth taking them on, because they never have a lie-in.
Brilliant.
I'm finding it quite exhausting now, because a lot of the homeless I've encountered recently, they're not even after my money. They're just looking for conversation. While I was walking along the other day, and I don't know what you're supposed to say to this, we were both walking, happened to be both passing a Chinese restaurant. He glanced in, he looked back around at me, he went, woman in there with 3 mobile phones. Why does she need 3 mobile phones? Got nothing to say to that. Got no opinion. Got absolutely no opinion of it. And I was thinking, what's going to have, and that thing when you sort of suddenly you got across the road conveniently to just get out of it. And there was another mad woman who started going, she was walking past me, she went, do you want to come to my church? I went, no, I don't believe in God. She went, do you believe in God? Oh, 20 minutes. Conversation, 20 minutes. It was unbelievable. I got to a point where I was so angry with her, I was shouting at her from across the other side of the room. I was the one who sounded like a nutter, going, there isn't a God! But
You see, when does it become, bad to avoid people like that? Do you know what I mean? Because some people say you shouldn't, that they're people like us who've just had a bit of bad luck.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, I know, but I remember one on our estate, right? And she was a bit... What's the word that you can use? Because I don't want to offend anyone. But I'd say... but sort of mental homeless. Is that a term?
That's the official term.
I think that is the
new official term. It's mental homeless-itis.
Right, so she lived on the estate and what have you, and she aged...
How was she homeless if she lived on the estate?
Well, she sort of decided to stay around there because I think people on the estate spoke to her more than people who had money. Do you know what I mean?
Really? I was going to say, why would she choose an estate not to live in, as opposed to a walled sort of lovely community?
Yeah.
Why not go to St John's Wood or...
Yeah, or I'd hang around in maybe, say, the Maze in Hampton Court.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No one's expecting to see a homeless person as they're trying to find their way around. Imagine the cash you'd make during the summer.
The rich sort of Victorians used to keep sort of homeless in there as a little folly, and they used to pay them at the end if they stayed there for 3 years.
What do you mean? Would they pay?
It was fashionable to have a little homeless little hobbit in your outhouse. Seriously.
And what did they have? Did they have to do anything for the money? Run, dance,
no, they just had to
tigers?
be there. No, they had to be there when they brought around. They go, look, that's our little cat weasel fella
Right.
living in our folly.
Yeah,
and then they got money, at the end of it. There's just really rich sort of Victorians and stuff.
That's a great idea. They should definitely bring that back. Because, you see, I would give a lot more to shelter and those kind of charities if I could have a homeless guy come in and do my bidding. I could make him dance.
And they had a really long beard and rags.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I could just make them do dances for me, or,
And he was somewhat magical, possibly. That
you
would
weren't
go, riddle me
too
dee, fiddle me do, what is my name and who are you?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then,
But anyway, so this mental
There's a little
homeless,
idea for shelter if anyone's listening. Yeah.
mental homeless woman on the estate, and what she used to do, right, she acted quite normal, and she used to always push like a pram around with her, right? And everyone was like, she can't have a kid, can she? Right? And she was dead happy every day. She was up and down, walking up and down the road. Anyway, one day she sort of walked past, right? Turned round and looked in the pram. There was a bucket with a face on it.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Rick, we've had an email here from a bloke. I think you're going to respect him, because I think you can tell straight away from his name that he's the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with.
Go on.
I know how much you love fun people.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, and he's calling himself this, Paul the Party Animal Parker. He's emailed in. He's given himself that moniker.
Right, I assume they're in sort of quote marks,
They're
are they?
in speech marks, yeah. Paul
Brilliant.
the Party Animal Parker.
And he's calling himself that.
Yeah.
That I can't wait.
So when you picture him, what are you thinking?
Millhouse.
Right, okay.
I think he looks like Millhouse from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
He's
working in sort of an IT department, maybe?
Yeah,
for a large
possibly.
organisation?
Oh, I think he might still be at school.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And this is the vital question. Do you believe him to be a party animal?
I believe him to be a party animal is as much as a man with a long scarf that his mum knitted him to look like Doctor Who can be a party animal, yes.
Do you think that when people are organising parties at his school, they're thinking the first person they got to get on the list and make sure he's guaranteed as
You've got to take Paul the party animal.
Because
Because I bet he's got millions of affectations. I bet he wants to be known as the one that carries around a biscuit tin.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the scarf.
He's the guy who only ever wears bowling shoes. It's his thing. It's his thing. He's a little bit kooky, it's his thing. But thank you very much indeed for your contribution. And it is fairly interesting what he sent in. He's found this on the web. I don't know why he's felt an affinity with this particular inventor. But anyway, there's a Serbian man, who has invented a sex machine for women. And he's appealing to Western women to test his device. He's from a town in, as I say, in Serbia. I guess Serbia? I guess that's right. Is that right?
Well, I don't know. What does it say?
Well, it says a Serbian man, but is it called Serbia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was all the Croatia-Serbia thing?
Well, it doesn't matter now, does it?
Okay. It doesn't matter now. It does to them. Otherwise they fought for nothing. What the hell do we know about world events? I mean, how long did that go on for? Months,
I don't know.
wasn't it?
If they're inventing new countries, they can't expect me to keep up with current trends, can we?
Anyway, this Serbian man has invented a sex machine for women, and he can't find any Serbian women to try it out, so he's looking now for Western women. He's taken out a patent on the ultimate sex machine. It runs on a 390-volt electric engine, simulates sex, and has a 7.5-inch artificial penis. He said, "My sex machine has an artificial penis that can make up to 180 moves in a minute." Now, I don't even know what that means. 180 moves? What? I mean, there's only really...
Well, in and out,
It's
I
in and out.
imagine.
It's largely
Yeah.
the function. Unless I've been doing it
what
wrong
he's
all
done.
these months.
What he's done is he's put a dildo on a Black and Decker.
A man can only manage the intensity of movement for about 5 seconds normally, but this machine can do it for as long as the woman wants. But anyway, so he's looking for a woman who will test this out. But what I love, as soon as I read this, I was thinking, just imagining there going, "Oh, thanks for coming in. Yeah, okay." So there's what's going to happen is there's a penis that's going to pop out from here, and it's going to have sex with you. I'm going to stand behind the machine. I've got to stand behind here. There's a lot of dials and stuff. I don't want to bore you with.
Well, why do you have to stand behind it? Just
I can't. It's technical stuff. But I got to be behind the machine.
But there's no penis on the robot at the moment. It's just a hole.
No, don't worry. What'll happen is I'll switch the machine on. I'll go behind, and then a penis will appear.
Will it be like a metal-looking penis?
It will be a robotic penis, but it will seem like it's a regular fleshy human penis.
So you're gonna all right. So you're gonna go behind this robot,
Go behind the machine.
disappear,
Yep.
and then a fleshy-looking penis is
That
gonna
will appear
through the hole
when I switch the machine on.
Okay, and that'll be the real
Yeah.
robotic penis.
But you won't see me for the duration of your sexual
So
encounter.
you've made this sort of like robotic penis look really realistic.
It's really realistic. You will not be able to tell the difference between, say, the robot one and mine, for instance. You
Okay,
wouldn't-
well, I
you
don't
wouldn't-
wanna see yours.
No, there's absolutely not.
Because I've not come around here to have sex with a person.
I know, you've come around to test the machine.
Yeah, I'm
and that
sorry,
is
to do-
exactly what you're going to get.
Okay,
a lovely
well,
piece
you-
of mechanical action. But what I know is the idea that on the front, maybe he's painted a picture of a robot's face.
Yeah.
And then when the machine begins, rather like in one of those horror houses, like a kind of mansion in a spooky film, the eyes of the painting, they'll move.
And the
a pair of
real eyes-
eyes will appear, just staring out. But I don't think I can have sex with this machine unless you're actually in the room, just in case anything goes wrong.
No.
Don't worry, I'll be behind the machine, it'll all be fine. It'll
Yeah.
be safe, not a problem.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, Paul the Party Animal Parker sent that in, and knowing him, there'll be plenty more coming like that in future weeks.
Carl, what do you think about that? The
Machines and that.
yeah.
Well, they've always been sort of... I mean, to a lot of people, sex is important, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Not to you?
Well, it serves a purpose.
What purpose?
No.
Because you don't want to have kids, so what purpose?
Just, you know,
Something to do in the evening
something to do, innit?
when the telly's broke.
But for years, like, they've found stuff, haven't they? Machines from, like, Roman times, that similar to that setup.
No machines in Roman times.
Like that, though. The old sort of knob on a stick machine thing.
The old Roman
I love
knob on a
that.
stick. I'm sorry, but I watch Time
Aqueduct.
Team every week, and Tony Robinson has never done that. An old knob on a stick machine.
I just think of Julius Caesar sitting down and go, "Okay, aqueduct, we love that. Thanks for that. Straight roads, good idea. We can see the enemy coming. What have you got there?
Well, I'm glad you've asked.
Plumpticus. What have you got
Glad
there?
you've asked.
Wanklicus.
What I've got here is a Yieldy knob, and I've put that on the end of a stick.
Oh, stickus phallus. Okay, well done, Wanklicus.
No.
Well done. You are my new right-hand man, as they say.
No,
Not a problem.
Excellent.
But they do stuff like that. You've been in the London Museum and that, and they've got sort of sex stuff from years ago. They've got like these metal pants that they used to wear.
I don't know what that is.
Metal pants.
Yeah, sort of
Is
metal.
that a chastity belt? You mean? They used to make women wear them so that they could
When-
have
when-
sex
when-
when
no, but
men were-
they had them for blokes as well, though.
metal pants for blokes.
Yeah,
Why?
just-
So he had a little lot. So if he was away, he couldn't play away from home, and if he was away, she popped on a little.
No, I just think they sort of like sexy metal pants.
What? Oh, I don't know what you mean.
What
The
are you
sexy
talking
metal
about?
pants.
Well, they'll have to look because I haven't got it in front of me. It's just something I remember seeing, some sort of sexy metal pants that I used to wear.
But what are you saying? Sexy metal
Come on,
pants?
they
that
always
was
had
not
to
British
be-
Museum. That was Soho.
No, what I mean
That was
is
Old Compton Street. You were looking
they
in the
always
shop
had to
window.
be ready for like battle and that, but these were a little bit sexy but protective at the same time.
I love that.
Right, I'll have to look into
I love
it.
the
I'll
idea
have
that that's all you remember from the British Museum.
So Lancelot, are you ready to face the Black Knight? Yeah. What do you think of these? Huh? What do you think of these? Well, I don't really care. Just
I just want to look good on the battlefield.
Well, they're both protective.
Will there
and-
be women watching, cheering us on?
Well, you're not going to fight like that, are you? What about your
I'm going to wear nothing except these sexy metal pants.
But what about your chest is exposed?
no,
Nothing-
well, it's a good chest. I've been working out.
Yeah, I know. But what I mean is, you want
I've
metal all
actually
over.
been lifting up the round table every week. I just work out, do that about 4 times a day.
But that machine, right? Why did it have to be a woman, or could they have got a little gay fella in?
I
Let
don't
me
know.
just check. It doesn't actually specify the small print here.
I love that. Why do you want to see a little gay fella be?
I don't want to see it. I'm just saying they're sort of more.
Carl? Why do you want?
I don't wanna see it.
Why do you want to
Don't wanna
watch a
see it.
gay man get buggered by a robot?
I wasn't the one typing in gay machines on the internet, finding stuff out about them.
It's not a
Steve
gay
was.
machine. You just made it into a gay machine.
Yeah, he wanted to pleasure women with this machine.
Oh.
You're saying, can I see a little gay fellow get a robotic cock up his arse? You're the one requesting that, Carl
I don't want
Pilkington.
that. I'm just saying that.
You're the one that want to see gay men with metal stuff up their anus.
No, what I'm saying is they're more up for a bit more experimentation than.
What are you saying? Why is that the case?
Why? Why'd you say that?
No, just they just butt plugs and that. I mean, what I'm saying is.
What, you can't just say butt plugs and that.
I'm just saying that I reckon they'd be up for it.
What
That's
do you know
I'm
about
saying.
butt plugs?
I don't know anything about them. I just remember seeing an advert for some once in a sex shop.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I wasn't. I was just walking past. I was walking past the sex shop and that, and
Your
you
eyes
you sort of
glancing,
looking.
glistening.
Why were you walking past a sex shop?
Just because I was on the way to work and that, and I passed one, and there was a little sort of one. It was open early, which I never understood. Right, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. Right, and I
Who's
thought,
rushing out for butt plugs
rushing
that
out,
early in the
who
morning,
needs them now? Right, but I
I
sort
must
of
get
had
a bagel and some poppers on the way to work.
But I walked past it and it had like a little post-it note or postcard type thing, and it was like pop in now, buy an item, chuck in some free butt plugs. And I didn't know what they for. I'd never heard of them before. But all I'm saying is I've since found out what they do with them.
What
And
do
if
they
they
do? with
do
them?
do that with them, then
Yeah.
give them a go on that.
I had another email here. This is they haven't given their name actually, but it's an interesting fact. I'm hoping it's true. America's first nudist organisation apparently was founded in 1929 by 3 men. Now, what intrigued me when I read that is the fact that it's clearly 3 blokes just trying to meet some nude women.
They're all 52, balding,
Exactly.
with little sort of those gold rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just wandering around, and it's all quite saggy down there, and they're just knocking on doors saying, "We're just set up an organisation. It's perfectly above board, completely
Yeah.
legitimate. It's a nudist organisation. We got any women in there that want to come and join us? Because
Well,
we haven't got
not
any
really.
female members at the moment. Got any women in there interested in, volleyball
No,
or
I
trampoline?
I can't be doing with it, me.
You hate nudists, don't you?
Nudists. I don't understand what it's all about at the end of the day. And here's something, right? Do you know, like, when you're a bloke nudist, right? Do you ever get any who just have, like, a small knob?
I don't know. I don't understand the question.
What's that? What's your point?
Well, are there any blokes who are knocking about who just have a normal-sized knob, or maybe a bit smaller than normal, who are happy wandering about showing off what they haven't got, if you know what I mean?
I don't think nudists are just doing it because they're so proud of their knob.
No, but there's got to be a little bit of that in it, isn't there?
Why?
Say like Jonathan Ross, right? He's nipped to see you now and again and what have you.
He's what?
He sort of nipped in to see you now and again. He's always happy getting his knob out because he's known to have this big knob, right?
What
So
do you mean he's
showing
known?
it off.
Why is Jonathan Ross known to have this big knob?
No, he just talks about it a lot, doesn't he? He's always saying about, oh, you know, but you'd like this, wouldn't you? And all
But
that.
that's like me. I'm known for being a great lover. I say it a lot. It's clearly not the case. What
Yeah,
evidence
but-
have you got that he's got a big?
No,
knob?
but the difference is he's happy to keep getting it out. It's different, sort of me walking about going, "Oh, I've got a big one" and all that, and then but no one ever sees it. But Jonathan, sort of, he's always getting it out, isn't he?
Have you seen him get it out before?
I saw. Well, he did get it out, but I wasn't looking.
What do you mean you weren't looking? How do you know it was out?
Just because he sort of was moving it about and that, and I could sort of
So
see.
you-
No, I wasn't looking though. It was
But-
that sort of thing where you can see something moving about, but you're like, I'm not looking at it.
What, like an owl seeing a mouse?
It
At,
just,
like,
what I mean, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is,
So no, let's get back to this. You remembering vividly Jonathan Ross's penis?
no. What, I
Yes.
don't mean that. What I
But
mean,
why were you looking at his penis?
I wasn't looking though.
Well,
I'm
it was
just saying-
clearly not meant to be looked at.
I'm just saying, most blokes who, you know, nudists, they must be pretty confident in themselves to, you know, getting it out. And I wasn't looking. It's just that. I mean, I looked once.
Okay, what was it like?
What? Sorry, you looked at Jonathan's once.
No,
or-
no,
Yeah.
I was looking at another one.
What?
At the same
what?
time?
No,
Why
no.
are you looking at loads
No.
of men's
What's
penises?
going on?
No,
Where are you
because
hanging
What
out?
is this?
It's natural. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? This
As a
is
bloke-
Carl takes a sneaky look at
No, no.
menscocks.com.
No, what I'm saying is, it's
Where
natural.
was this happening? You were in a gym.
No,
A lot of guys are getting changed, and you
No,
were just checking out their knobs.
you're at your bedroom window with a pair of binoculars,
No.
and there was a little fella across the road
I
getting
was
changed.
at some night out once.
Go
right?
on.
So you were at
Um,
heaven, and you were in the
It was
toilet.
some night out, and some people come running on the stage, right? Some music started coming on, and these 4 people ran out. It was 2 women.
So
2
you're at a gay
blokes.
strip club.
It wasn't gay in that. It was just a normal night out. Well, you know, some sort of party night out.
Right.
These people come running on, right? You got 2 women. You got 2 blokes.
Right.
They whip their knickers off. The fellas whip their undies off.
At the same
Now-
time?
Yeah, all at the same time.
Was it like,
that,
was it like a choreographed thing?
like what's it?
Chippendales.
No, what you know, like Cheryl Baker was in it. It was that thing where they sort of, you know, on Eurovision Song Contest.
Making your mind up
Yeah.
when Bucks
Oh,
Fizz
Bucks
ripped
Fizz.
off a larger skirt, conceding a smaller skirt. At no point did Bucks Fizz whip their knickers and pants
When
off.
you said Cheryl Baker was in it, I was thinking, what? Didn't she used to host Record Breakers? I don't remember that on
So-
there.
so
Tea
that-
Time on BBC One.
So
Go on.
that happened, and all I'm saying is, right, before I had a look at the woman's bits, right, I just had a little cheeky glance at the fellas.
Why?
Why?
Just checking it out, just seeing is everything normal down
Why
there.
weren't your eyes drawn instantly to the ladies' bits?
Don't believe me. I had a look at that. All I'm saying
But you
is,
went to the guys first.
I didn't know how long pants were going to be left off for.
So you didn't want to miss your opportunity, is what you're
Oh.
saying? You saw a window of opportunity to see some men's bits, and you thought, I better take it.
No,
because
but-
this may never happen again.
No,
So what happened? So there's
had a
2
look.
women, 2 men, right? I don't know what sort of event this is where you're looking at anyone get their knickers and pants off. I don't know why you're looking at all.
Good night,
So you go right. There's knickers and pants off. Right. Let's check out the knob and testicles first.
you're telling me you've never, like, when you've been in a gym or anything, you've not just sort of turned your head, had a look, and gone, all right, yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Been in a... Sorry, let's just get this question right. Have we ever been in a gym and just taken a sneaky glance at a man's genitals? Is that your question to us?
Right, for me, it's the same as when you see someone who's a bit odd, 2 heads or whatever.
Well, I'll be honest. If I was in a gym and a bloke came in with 2 heads, I'd look.
Well,
I'd get a sneaky glance in the mirror. I'd go.
sorry, but you'd look at his genitals or his 2 heads?
It's 2 heads.
Or would you you look at the heads and then think, I wonder if he's got 2 cocks? And just...
I'd have to have a look there. If I'll tell you what, and now I admit it, if I'm ever in a gym and a naked man with 2 heads walks in, I probably will check out the genitals as well, just to make sure that he's got 2 of everything.
Can I tell you the thing that always freaks me out? I do sometimes go to the gym, and I live in North London, and the thing that always freaks me out is if there's an elderly man, often quite short, and I say this only so you can picture something in your mind's eye, you know, because I live in North London. There's quite a lot of old elderly Jewish gentlemen, wander around, and I'm always freaked out because there's at least 2 I'm aware of who've got very, very large penises. And I always find that really disturbing because sometimes you can't you know, you can't help but notice, because it's like Godzilla coming through the changing room. Do you know what I mean? And it's swinging there, and it never seems right that he's an old guy, you know, he's kind of a little overweight, quite short, and he's got a massive piece of action going on between his legs. And I always get, dare I say it, a little bit jealous. Because for a tall man, I feel I've been a little bit shortchanged.
Oh, wow.
So
there you
that,
go.
I do admit, that's the only instance where my eye has been naturally drawn to it.
Do you know what annoys me in gyms? Where people walk round happily naked all the time whistling. They get weighed naked, pop a towel on and take off 3 ounces.
How exact have those measurements got to be?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Pop a towel on. I mean, unless you're going on the space shuttle, I reckon you could give or take a couple of
Ounces.
stone. Yeah, a couple
exactly,
of ounces.
yeah. Absolutely right. Well, we've put that to bed.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Right, Carl.
Go on.
It's that time again. You better be ready. Oh! Chimpanzee that monkey news!
Right. Well, this week, what we're covering is, do you know, like they say, monkeys are pretty close to humans.
Well, when you say monkeys, you mean apes, I assume,
Well,
and when you
just
say apes, you mean
whatever, just
chimpanzees.
monkeys and that.
Well, no, because they're different species. They're all
What they've
primates.
done, they've done a lot of tests and that. Like I said, you know, we've talked about the one that went into space.
That was
We've
rubbish.
had ones that have worked in train stations.
No.
The rest of it. So the
Barbers,
next,
was there a barber one?
there was a barber one. He started off sweeping, didn't he? But he didn't immediately go in
Straight into,
but
he worked his way up, yeah.
They do
you know,
apprenticeship.
They do a lot of stuff.
I've seen the salon. He was probably the top student.
But the thing is, you know, I mean, in a way, this is linked to the one in the salon. He could cut hair, but he'd never be allowed to work on the till, right? But these tests that they've been doing now,
Why? Are they not trustworthy?
well, they've had problems understanding money, right? But they've got one recently that they've been teaching about the value of money and showing it that, you know, to get this money you've got to work hard, you've got to save your money, and when it's saved
No,
up,
it's all bollocks.
you can do what you want with that money.
Yeah, it wouldn't
But
happen.
at the end of the day, these monkeys aren't on that much money.
Yeah,
So-
and they wouldn't. You could never. you
So-
could never teach a monkey the value of money.
So the thing is, they've said to these monkeys, look, you know, there's your money.
They haven't said anything
You're
to the
only getting
monkeys.
so
They
much
have, Rick.
money,
Please listen to the news.
but
it's the news.
It's the news.
it's important that, you know, they know how to spend that money, right? It's basic rules, really. It's what you teach a human about money, innit? It's what you teach kids. The
So
value
invest
of money.
wisely.
Invest and all that.
Sorry, who's
they
teaching
got
these
past,
monkeys? So, Carl, stop.
Just some people and that.
But who? Where are these
The
monkeys?
monkey people.
But where are these monkeys? Where are these
I
monkeys
think
being?
it's in San Francisco.
Where are these monkeys though? What are they? Are they in a shop? What are they doing? Are they in homes? What are they doing?
Just
in
like,
the zoo?
Well, probably just in like some sort of science place where science people are checking out monkeys' brains and that and seeing how they work. But they're happy. They're not.
This is
cutting them
different to the news at 10.
that. So listen.
Well, yeah, but you can't interrupt the newscasters for one thing, Rick. Please.
Sorry, go on.
So there's these monkeys, right? And they've given them some money, probably about £5, and they said, right, off you go, go shopping, see who comes back with the best. Sort of, how much can you get? You know, like in
Ready, Steady, Cook.
Cook, where they
Right.
say, there's a £5, go and get some food. Anyway, some came back and they were like, you know, they hardly had anything. Right?
This is absolute shit.
No, listen.
This is
bollocks.
Listen.
But one of them, right, he was away longer, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, I think he came back last. But they were really impressed because he sort of said, this is amazing that you've got all this. Can't believe it. Give us the receipt, right?
Oh, this is absolute
Right, forget it then.
bollocks.
Forget it.
no,
No,
listen.
forget it.
No. This is absolute
Hear it
then.
shit.
No,
We want to hear the end.
No.
Look, hang on a minute, right? So they said, give us the receipt and that, and they looked at it, and it was all official, right? And they went through it all, and what they were really impressed by is the way that they always went for the sort of slightly older veg, where you get 2 lots for the price of one.
Right, you're absolute.
So, and it just goes to show,
This is
right,
absolute
that-
bollocks.
Well,
There's
forget it
no
then.
way.
If you're not
There's
gonna-
no way
forget
a
it.
chimp went
It's not-
shopping and
right.
knew what he was buying. It's
I don't know why
absolute.
you asked me then.
Well, it's absolute bollocks. Once again, you've made it up. You probably saw a headline
it.
on some sort of half-witted website, and you're talking shit.
Right.
Just to say, if you have any monkey news for Carl that you want to hear on one of these podcasts in future weeks, then you can email Carl, or indeed with anything
Sick of
at
it.
podcast@rickygervais.com.
This podcast was hosted by Positive Internet.
Can I just ask, what does hosting mean when you in that sense?
I don't know, but the guys at Positive Internet do, because they're experts in this field, and that's why I like them.
Well, thanks very much. And join us next time when we'll I'm sure, waste another half hour of your lives. See ya.
Bye.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Let's do a couple of openings.
You do it.
Well, you better say something. Okay.
Mm.
Well, I think you should say, welcome to Ricky Gervais Show on or whatever podcast.
I'm not on this, am I?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Well, just saying hello.
Hello?
No, let us do the introductions. We're doing 2 introductions in the 2 shows. Fuck me.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Right, welcome again to the Ricky Gervais Show on this Guardian podcast with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and
Hello
of course, hello there,
Thanks.
and of course our producer Carl Pilkington.
Right.
Carl, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
I know this is what a lot of the fans are already wondering. Is there going to be some monkey news today?
There's got to be,
Of course there is.
Yeah?
yeah.
That's
All
a
right.
question.
Well, I don't want... I'm worried because maybe this will steal your thunder. But Sarah Greer has emailed this in, once again, emailed to podcast@rickygervais.com. Chimp mauling under investigation. I know you're concerned, because this actually fuses 2 of our greatest features, Monkey News and Knob News, into one seamless whole.
Oh.
Investigators said they are trying to figure out how 2 chimpanzees that viciously attacked a visitor at an animal sanctuary escaped from their cage. This is the grim bit. The chimps chewed off a man's nose and severely mauled his genitals and limbs.
Why did they go for his genitals?
Both of them did as well.
Eh?
Both of them. Did you say 2 chimps?
No, you're right, yeah, it was chimpanzees too. Yeah, I don't know
You
if
see,
both
which
of them
one
went,
did it?
they just saw that they're dangling away and they
You
just
go
went,
for the nose?
Yeah.
I go for his bollocks.
And
Now,
then
what accent have they got there?
I
those
don't
chimps?
know.
Were they kind of New York gangster chimps? They're like soprano chimps.
what happened to them anyway?
What happened to what?
The 2 guilty monkeys.
Well, unfortunately, they were shot dead by the authorities.
You see, that annoys me a bit.
I know, but again,
What are you talking about? They're attacking people's gonads.
I know, but they were happy in an African jungle a couple of years ago.
That's what
Yeah,
they
but
do,
the-
isn't it?
That is what they do. That's what animals do. Animals fight. Do you remember when that bloke?
So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to let them just wander off into the I don't know, into the local mall and maybe savage some young children, or a bucket with a face
No,
paint on
hang
it.
on.
No, all I'm saying is you don't shoot them for doing what's natural to them. They
Yes,
did
you
want to.
do.
Why?
If anything attacks anyone's balls,
No,
and
but why
bollocks,
would
you attack 'em.
no. Maybe they were shot during it. That you're allowed to shoot something that's doing something. But if they were they executed or were they shot in the attack?
No, it says he shot them. Well, he shot them to death. I'm assuming he shot them to death as they
That
were legging it
doesn't-
off.
But why aren't they just sort of tranquilised? Where was
Why
this?
have
Was
I
this in
been
a zoo?
accused like it was my fault? Just because I happened to be reading Sarah Greer, who emailed it in, the one who should be getting a
It
bollocking.
just annoys me how one way it's kind of like, you know, we're trying to save the pandas, and then the next day someone's shooting them or whatever. I know it's not a panda, but all I'm saying
So
is it's double
therefore, the
standards.
whole argument falls apart. But go on.
No, but what I'm saying is, what would happen? I've talked about this before about St. George killed the last dragon, right?
Right, it didn't exist.
It's the same thing though.
No, there's never been any dragons.
No.
It's a mythical creature.
Well, you don't
By
know
mythical, it means we made this up, like the unicorn.
Well,
I don't even. What was your point about the dragon? What's that got to do with
because
this?
I'm saying out like, why is it all right to be going around going mental with a gun, shooting all the monkeys and killing them? Because one day we're going to run out.
What are you talking about? How have you extrapolated from this one incident of a couple of testy, happy
That's what
monkeys?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. One incident. They only did it once. And they've got a
But
bullet
they're
in
not
their head.
shooting around and making them extinct, are they?
If they carry on like that, they will. But
Well, it's up to the monkeys to stop attacking people's
Yeah,
private
but
parts.
It's
But
that's
that's
what
a
I-
give and take here.
No,
I'm
come
sorry.
on. That monkey doesn't know why it's in a cage. It's not going, oh, this is for my own good. It's like, even if it's animal husbandry, they're not sitting there going, well, I'll tell you what, let's stay here because it's, you know, they're trying to do a nice little breeding program here, or we could get out and do what we do best: run amok, eat some bollocks, right, and have a good time. Right? They don't know what they're doing. They don't. And Carl's right. The poor little bastards get a bullet in the head.
For what?
And I'm saying, if they're attacking a human, shoot them to stop them, that's fine, okay? But if they're running away and they're, don't shoot them in the back like a coward.
This was an animal sanctuary, though. So presumably they had quite a cushy time there, because most of the ones I've visited, they've always got it easy. They're
But you
hanging around
don't-
on tyres, they got comfy chairs, they're wanking. They're going berserk, they're loving it. So, you say that, I think I don't know, I just think there was something nasty, there was something a bit warped in these monkeys. I mean,
But hang on a minute, you've just answered your own question there. You said they're in a sanctuary, so they haven't had a good upbringing. So they're going to be a bit more, madder than other monkeys, aren't they? Because that's where the ill ones go, isn't it?
Sorry, what do you understand by sanctuary?
Well, I've been to one for seals.
it's not like a borstal.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks it's a borstal. He
It's
thinks
like Scum.
Yeah, like they did some bad stuff in the jungle, and they had a little monkey court, and they went send him to Borstal.
So, well, what is it then?
No, it's a monkey sanctuary where it like a haven.
Well, it's not a haven, is it? They've got a bullet in the head.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Talking of eating knobs,
Yeah.
Gilly Goulden. Now
What's she been up to?
Well, you saw her in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
I haven't been watching it.
She popped a little kangaroo knob in the mouth, chewed it up.
What, she just found
swallowed
it? Did she line around?
No, it was one of the things that she had to
Oh, it was
eat.
one of the challenges.
Carol Thatcher, a daughter of one of our leaders.
Sure.
She popped a couple of bollocks in the mouth,
Oh.
chewed them up, swallowed them.
Oh.
And Gilly Goulden, there was a kangaroo penis there, dried. She couldn't even get. It was so tough, she couldn't even get through it. And then she, eventually, she eats
What was it,
it.
like a pepperoni?
Yeah, and she. What do you think of that, Carl?
What, eating that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
I watch it. I like those little trial bits, right?
yeah.
But what I don't think people realise is, right, it is hard eating a little kangaroo knob. Right?
Really? How do you know?
No, it's just, you think about it and you go, oh, I couldn't do that, right? But what they never mention on the TV programme, which I think takes it to the next level, right, they're eating that at 7:30 in the morning.
Sure. Right.
Which
for
is
breakfast.
worse, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I was there and Ant and Dec said, right, Carl, eat the knob, I'd go, hang on a minute, give us a few hours, let me get some rice and that on my belly, and just sort of fill me up a little bit more. I'll pop back at about 6:30 this evening,
Right.
have it ready. And I'd be happier then. It's just that thing of, you
You
you've
just
been
don't,
away-
you don't want to eat. You don't eat animal genitals on an empty stomach.
So what are you saying? You could
I'm saying I could eat a knob at night, but
just cut that there. We'll loop that. If any DJs are listening,
No.
just take that quote. I could eat a knob at night by Carl Pilkington. Maybe do a dance remix.
Yeah,
Just
I think maybe you're sort of a house producer, and you could maybe get some kind of high energy beat going, and then we could just send that out to some of the gay clubs. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'd be really popular.
Please, anyone, send us, that looped with a nice little, funky house beat. Carl Pilkington saying, I could eat a knob at night.
no. But
That's
do
go
you
on.
know what I mean, though? By that.
Not really.
Well, okay then, right. Okay. Now, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I couldn't pop a kangaroo testicle in my mouth and chew it. It was disgusting to watch. She was eating witchetty grubs. Good on them because they were doing it. But then again, I think, well, they wanted to go in there. They knew they were up for it. So on the one hand, I think, is that admirable and is that showing sort of like good British metal, or is it, I'll do anything to get on telly for a week? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't. Where does it stop? I thought Rebecca Lewis went too far when she gave the little pig a tug, but at least she knew where to stop.
Yeah.
She didn't,
well, I
Gilly
think it's
Gould-
obvious when you have to stop.
yeah, but
The pig tells you that.
to pop the also again, where's the kangaroo hopping around without a cock?
I'll tell you, here's another question, right? Bit of a spin-off with animals and that. Have you ever, right, Steve, killed a fly?
Probably, yes.
Right? Well, I was watching David Attenborough, right? He makes his money out of flies and that, doesn't he? Do you think he's ever killed one, or does he go, well, I can't kill that fly or that spider, because that's how I make my money?
I don't know what the question is.
I don't know what this question is.
Like my mum, right, she said if a fly is knocking about the house, she never kills it, she always catches it and puts it out and that, and she said she'd never kill
Who is
one.
she, Mr. Miyagi? What do you mean she catches it? How
Yeah,
does she catch
with a pair
it?
of chopsticks.
No, she...
Rick, it's that time again. It's what everyone's waiting for. Can you do the jingle for us?
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news, you...
Right, this week, the monkey news is about, we all know, like, there's monkeys knocking about that aren't happy in this country.
Sure.
Isn't
It is a big problem, it's an epidemic.
So they've set up, like, this sanctuary place.
Okay.
Where they all go. The ones that aren't happy in a zoo and what have you, it's getting them down.
They can phone a number and they'll come and pick them up.
Pop them in this house place, right? And basically, they can run riot in there.
Yeah.
To get freedom to sort of cheer themselves up. It's like, don't have a go at them. If they want to do such a thing, let them have a go and what have you, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 people running this place, right? And one of them...
Sorry, where is this place for wayward chimps who don't like the zoo? What are you talking about? A house where they can do what they want?
I'm not sure where it is.
That's a surprise. Go on.
But there's this place anyway. It doesn't matter where it is, does it? At the end of the day, I'm just telling you what the problem is. We haven't got to the problem bit yet.
Go on.
I'm just building up to it, right? So these monkeys, big house and that,
PlayStation, anything they want.
Gym, all that lot.
Gym.
So anyway, I'll cut to the chase. Whatever. One of them wanted to mess about with the woman's breasts. Right?
Which woman's breasts?
The woman who works there.
Right.
Right. And she was like, right, pack it in, we've all had a bit of fun. You've been in the gym and everything. She obviously, got a bit excited and that. He was fired up and that, ready for some more action and that. He's trying to have a go on this woman's breast, right? She was like,
have a go.
She was like, no, you're not doing that. Pack it in and all that. The boss who's running the place was like, come on, let him have a go.
No, right, you're talking shit.
I'm telling you what, I know sometimes I step over the mark and they made
right.
This
so where is this place where... Well, 1, where is this house where chimps are allowed to do what they want? And 2, where is this place where one of the bosses, one of the human bosses, suggests to the other one, oh, and if the chimp wants to play with your tits, love, let the chimp play with his tits.
I've said before, Rick, will you please stop interrupting Miss
listen,
News?
it's alright, Steve, because what I'll do, I'll bring the link and you can put the link on the website and people can have a look at the proper story. I'm just giving it them in a headline form here. They can read the full thing.
No, you've only read the headline form.
I haven't read it. I sort of read like the first
It
paragraph.
was probably monkey feels a right tit, and you've extrapolated all this from that.
So anyway, right, so he's there. And
so the boss says, yeah, you can have a grope.
The boss is saying, let him have a
Come
go.
on, Rita, if monkey wants to play with nipples, let him.
So she's like, I'm not happy with this, and he's going, come on, you know the rules here, we've got to cheer these monkeys up.
This is absolute
we valued it.
Actually, no, and in the end, because she didn't allow it to happen, the fella bloke sacked her, got someone else in. This isn't made up. I will put the link on the website and everyone can have a look at it, but basically...
I want to see the advert he put in the Guardian media page. I love that. Woman wanted to let chimp feel tits whenever it wants.
Well, it's all up there.
You're talking absolute shit again.
Well, we'll see.
That is no way that happened.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Do you know the other week when I came up with, like, a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that?
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was he was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is people live till 78. I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach, like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory. It wasn't an idea. It was the ramblings of a mental case.
You're saying it's stupid, but someone's emailed in and said, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good." Good
Yeah,
place.
and okay, I'm asking you again. Was the letter written in shit?
Anyway, listen, right.
Did it say the mental home, Mars?
I've been thinking about it, right, and if we can't do that, right, if that's a no to that, right.
Well, it's not a question of whether we can do it or not.
Just saying, if that's a no, right, I've been thinking.
It is a no. This is going to be brilliant.
There's a lot of weird. I mean,
you could win the Nobel Prize for this.
But listen, there is a lot of ways, isn't there, in the world that some creatures and that go about sort of moving on. If you know what I mean.
Evolution, you mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, on that David Attenborough programme that he's doing at the moment, he's always showing you little insects and what they've got to do, and there was one about a wasp, right, that had to fly about, right, for ages, looking out for a certain type of spider, right?
It lays its egg in the
spider.
When
I saw it, it whizzes down, right? It lands on its back, so that he's got to get that right? It lands on it. I don't think the spider's up for anything. That isn't even aware of this is how things move about. He's not going, I've got to look out for a wasp. So all this is like, it's got to be perfect timing. So this wasp dived down, right? sat on the back of this spider, it injects it or something with a maggot or something, right? And then that maggot then lives off the spider for a bit. The spider knows it's got a maggot in it.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
And it's making a web for it. It goes, I've got something to look after here now. I've got responsibilities. It makes a web, right? It sort of reverses into it and puts the maggot on the web. The maggot sort of clings onto the web. Spider's there. Maggot eats the spider, and then it moves on. If I came up with that idea for like a method, you'd say that's never going to happen.
No, wait, Carl! It's not the fact that you came up with the idea, right, for an old lady dying at 78 with a baby growing in her that then lives on. It's nonsense. It's no idea. It's how can it be enforced? It's like, so even if scientists thought that was the best idea in the world, how would they enforce it?
What I'm
Who's
saying
going to go, that's a good idea, we've never thought of that.
Yes, but what I'm saying
Getting
is...
Elsie.
Who told the wasp to look out for that spider? To go on its back? To do,
What do you mean who told the wasp?
To
it's
you.
evolution, it's natural selection.
Yeah, but I can understand, we've chatted about it before about giraffes having a long neck, but you're talking about a wasp and a spider who...
That's because
as far as
you're
I'm
attributing thought and will behind their behaviour. Behaviour in humans is linked with a free will.
Yeah, but most of what we do, say like how we have a kid at the moment, you don't just jump on the back of a woman and go, there you go, love, and then a baby pops out.
You do if you come from Bristol.
No, what I'm saying is, right, it's all, you build up to it, don't you? You have that bit of a chat and you go, right, how's it going? Yeah, and you get on and that, and then a little baby will come out.
This is the most...
Wait. Well, I want to go back to the dating procedure there. You have a chat, you go alright, and then a little baby comes out. That's extraordinary.
This is amazing.
No, I'm sorry.
This is incredible.
I tell you, two-bit radio's gain was secondary school's loss. It really was.
What I'm saying is,
this is my first Pilgrim book. Unbelievable.
What I mean is, we all get on. What I'm saying is, at what point is a wasp ever going to have a chat with a spider or meet up with it?
I don't even understand where we are now in this conversation.
What point is a wasp going to ever have a chat with a spider? No. What world do you live in? What's in your head?
No, but...
I can't believe it. Carl, what point is a wasp ever going to have a chat with a spider?
So in some kind of weird insect nightclub, these wasps and these maggots are meeting, they're getting on. Is that how you're imagining
it? No, but that's what I'm saying to you. What are the odds on that actually happening?
But listen. You're thinking because behaviour in lower forms of life is purely chemical. It's purely, it bypasses any form of consciousness. Right? There's a parasite that's like a flatworm, a platyhelminth, or it might be a nematode. It's some sort of invertebrate. Yeah. That it lays its egg. The beginning of its cycle is in a stickleback. Okay, and it literally has to change the stickleback's behaviour. Okay, because it has to get into a warm-blooded animal to complete its cycle. So what it does is, this parasite makes the stickleback not flee from the shadow of a heron. So it makes the stickleback get eaten, right? So it then is in the belly of a warm-blooded animal and it can complete its life cycle. But at no point is the nematode or the platyhelminth, whatever it is, going, slow down, there's a heron coming, stay here. And the stickleback going, why? I don't want to stay, there's a heron. There's no conversation. It's not they get together and go, listen, I've got something that might be mutually beneficial to both of us. I need to get into a heron. You like to be eaten by a heron? No, I don't. Where's this conversation with a wasp?
Yes, you do. It's got Jedi powers.
Yes, you do.
No, all I'm saying is, the idea that I came up with, you're sort of saying that's a crazy idea.
It's not an idea. It's not an idea.
How many times have we heard all I'm saying is, and then such a stream of nonsense that it's blown our minds?
No, but that's all I'm saying. That, what you've just explained there with the heron having to knock about and for a flea to be sat in the shade and that.
That is incredible. That translation of what I said that sums it up for me. Yeah. He sees the headline, he reads a book. It then goes through this weird filtering system with, I imagine the music in his head is boop, beep, boom, ba,
discordant piano. I think the noise in Carl's head is like a fax machine. If you've ever got that up full volume.
I think it's like a Czechoslovakian cartoon from 1963.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like noises like woks being hit,
Yeah.
and
so
pianos
anyway.
just being hit by elbow.
He's the only person you can give him a body of information, and he strips away the facts.
But the way he said that, I talked about clearly talked about some sort of parasite in a stickleback that makes its behaviour change so it doesn't flee the heron's shadow. He said, so there's an heron with a flea who doesn't like the shade. How did it come out? I mean,
It doesn't matter, forget that, right? But
What's
anyway,
your theory? What's your theory?
What I'm saying is I've come up with something else that I want to run by you then.
Go on
right?
then.
So you've sort of boo-booed the idea
Boo-booed.
We've boo-booed it. We have boo-booed it.
He chose a completely different bear. It was originally Poo-Poo the bear, but now it's Boo-Boo the bear. Brilliant.
So you've said no to, the old woman having a kid, right,
Yeah.
before she dies. What about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah.
Go on.
Somehow, I don't know how
A
yet.
kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child gives birth to an old man.
No.
Right.
What I'm saying is, right,
Go on.
work the other way round.
Come on then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this is notes.
So-
when he hands it into the Nobel people,
Yeah.
and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, so you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
Well, that's
Fine.
right.
Yes, we inject something.
So you inject it in.
What are you? Who are you injecting?
This old woman who's she's been ill and that she's died.
So she's dead. So
Yeah,
we're
but you-
we're
yeah.
bringing old people back to life. Okay, fine. That's step one. We just got to sort that out first. But fine, we'll crack that. Go on next. So we brought people back from the dead. Fine.
Yeah, but
Next.
this is a way of controlling population. Remember, they can't be having it away and having kids. This is just the way we're going to
Okay,
work
so
from now.
there's an old lady. So we start now. We start now as the world is now. So what happens?
Right. So you get like an old woman.
Who's dead?
Yeah.
Yep.
Injector and that.
Injector.
And then what happens is she sort of wakes up.
Amazing.
Right. And she works the other way. So like she might be 77,
Yep.
and then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
No
I'm
idea.
really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said. This is madder than the old lady with the pit like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This is it. Let me just tell you the
on then.
ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die at the age of
78.
9 months,
What?
at the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of
You're
9?
not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no
So
fear.
you missed out a bit here. So this woman, literally gets younger and younger?
I think
Yeah.
when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to 78 years. Then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, right, back you go.
No, but forget all that bit.
I'll forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So
is...
she died and she doesn't remember all her... This is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
What I'm saying is, old people are scared of dying. When they're 77, they're going, oh, what's going to happen to me? Little injection in the head. When it's a baby, when it's like 1, and everybody around it's going, yeah, it's going to die soon and that. Baby hasn't got a clue. It's happy. It's playing about with its rattle or whatever.
So it loses
not
all
scared.
its... So it loses all its memories.
That's it.
And then what happens? So when does it die? When it gets to naught? When it's 0 days old? It goes
Yeah,
through...
it just dies. People know. It's almost like a countdown. So the family's aware of it.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then. We'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that all right? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's. I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
If you're a maniac and you'd like to get in touch, then please email us at podcast@rickygervais.com. doing a bit of Christmas shopping, Rick, the other day, and I was travelling around on the tube, the London Underground, the subway system for our American friends. And, as you know, but people around the world may not be so familiar, there's a recorded voice that you sometimes get on the tube that says, mind the gap.
Oh, yeah, before you open the door.
Yeah.
Mind the gap.
And the reason is that sometimes in some stations there is a gap between the train and the platform, and obviously, theoretically you could fall down
And it's
there
different
or whatever.
sizes, so just that little reminder, mind the gap. You look down, it's safe.
Just makes you stop. Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Saw a kid, teenager, wearing a T-shirt, don't know where he bought it. It just said, fuck the gap.
He was tired of it.
Yeah,
he
but-
didn't want to mind the gap.
But what I like is, what's he protesting about?
I don't
You know what I
know.
mean? It's not the police or the man keeping you down. That's just good, sensible health and safety information.
That's like
You know?
saying, fuck looking both ways before I cross
Yeah.
the road.
Screw penicillin.
I know.
No, do you know what? I'm going to drink and I am going to use threshing machinery. And I don't give a damn. I love that about teenagers, that kind of screw you sort of mentality, but it's kind of blind, isn't it? It just anything's a target, anything's valid.
When I was a teenager, I think maybe 17, I had a T-shirt. I was rallying against just stuff, really. It was slightly more abstract than the Gap. I wasn't specifically against the Gap. It just said bullshit. Just in general, bullshit.
You were raging against the machine.
I would just go, yeah, people say, hey, what are you... I just open I go, bullshit, all right? Just bullshit.
But I assume that these forms of protest have never made any dent in anything in the world. Because I remember when there was all these protests against the war, a couple of months back, and there was one guy, so there was a huge march in London, as you know, and they did these all around the world, didn't they? But there was thousands of people in London. There was one guy, he was riding around on a 3-wheeled bike, wearing a jester's hat, blowing a horn. That was his form of protest against the war.
Was it like, what sort of horn was it?
It was one of those sort of hunting horns.
Well, he was showing him. He was saying, "This is what I believe."
Yeah.
And if that doesn't change people's opinions, I don't know what will.
But I like the idea of Bush, just about to invade Iraq, and just the news comes through from his chief of staff.
And Bush goes,
George.
What is it? What is it? What?
No, listen, no, seriously, we've got some information coming in from London.
Go on.
I know you're thinking of invading Iraq.
Definitely,
but,
yeah, why?
Well, let's just think about it, because there's
Go
a
on.
guy riding around on a 3-wheeled bike.
Oh.
He's not got the regular 2, he's gone for 3 wheels. So...
Okay, well, listen, what's he wearing?
I don't want to tell you what he's wearing, he's just...
What's he wearing on his head?
He's
tell me
just
what-
wearing... He's wearing a jester's hat. So-
Okay, no, well, calm down. It's not that bad. It's not going to change my opinion about...
He's blowing a horn.
Okay, get the troops out. Get the troops out now. What do
It's
they think they're
pointless.
doing?
You've got to get involved in the... I saw a girl once again, a teenage girl. I was behind her on the tube, and she had this bag, like a rucksack, and it was kind of black, and it had... painted in Tipex, it had a picture of George Bush, but he was kind of in the sights of a rifle, and it sort of said "Stop the War," and it had a Barbie's head, but it was severed, and the hair was scraped back, and she'd been made up to look kind of devilish, and there was sort of CND signs, and there was "No to war" and all this, and I sort of wanted to tap her on the shoulder and say, are you actually getting involved in stopping the war, or have you been working mainly on this bag?
Yeah,
Because that must have taken you at least a couple of days. You could have been writing emails, you could have been getting a petition going.
Oh dear,
Carl, have you ever been into that sort of teenage rebellion, teenage protest?
What, to sort of stop stuff going on and that?
Yeah. Or just making your views heard.
I don't really like people knowing what I'm thinking and that.
Right.
There's no way anyone can know what you're thinking.
No, but
even
Is
with
that why you're doing a radio
experimentation,
show where you spout off your nonsense ideas every week?
No, but what I mean is...
a team of surgeons could fiddle around in your head for a couple of days, and they still wouldn't know what you were thinking.
No,
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Exactly. You're thinking of... you're thinking, could a monkey ever be president? At this moment, aren't you?
But I don't like anyone that... Like, all those badges that you're talking about, like, Save the Whale and all that. I don't like the idea that when I get on a tube and someone sees that, they sort of know that I want to save the whale. I don't like people knowing, even to the point of...
It gives you a disadvantage in life, doesn't it?
But just knowing stuff like when you get on a tube and say if you've been shopping, right, and you've had to buy an ironing board, I hate it that people sort of look at what you've got and go, oh, he's doing some ironing.
Right, okay. That's got to be rare. I mean, you can't have bought more than 5 or 6 ironing boards in your adult
but
life.
I don't mean just ironing boards. I mean, like, anything big where they can't wrap it, so they just put a carrier bag round a little bit of it, and everyone can see what you've just
It's
bought.
weird because I bought an ironing board last week from Argos, and I did
did
feel a little bit self-conscious.
There you go.
Because I thought people thinking, he's 30, why hasn't he got an ironing board yet?
Yeah.
No wonder he's a scruffy bastard.
I pretend I'm going surfing whenever I buy an ironing board. I just make sure I go in Bermuda shorts and sunglasses, and I just walk down the street.
'Cause
And I go, surfing USA, and they think, hey, there's a dude going to the beach. I pop on a bus, go home, do some ironing.
Yeah. Wait a minute, what's that on his t-shirt? Bullshit. He's radical. I get still faintly embarrassed buying toilet paper.
Yeah. I always have to buy something else to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't like, because if you just
A
buy that on
newspaper.
its own, if you buy it on its own, it's obvious that
you're off for
you're
a
dying
shit,
for
yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and it's like, I haven't got any in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just chuck it in with a pot noodle, it's like, well, he's eating and he's thinking about later. Whatever. But
Yeah,
it's
if you
that-
buy it on its own, you know that you've got none in the house and you've just rushed across the street to get
Definitely.
some. Because especially if you're still in your slippers.
Well, that's about it for another podcast, and a new one in a week's time after Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have an absolutely blinding Christmas.
Or a lovely whatever festival you celebrate in your part of the world. From Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington.
If you want to send us anything, as ever, the email address is podcast@rickygervais.com. You can email just your thoughts on the show, if you've got some monkey news for Carl, or anything you think might intrigue Carl, or indeed maybe just some Christmas wishes. Then that's the email address, podcast@rickygervais.com.
I would like to wish a particularly Merry Christmas to those guys at Positive Internet for all their genius input and good work hosting this podcast. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.